Good morning. Today we are correcting CO61, interpreting and creating bar graphs and line graphs. So we worked on that bar graph, getting it set up last time. So you needed to have all of those months down below with the birthdays going up the side. We need to make sure that they are labeled. So we should have birthdays and months. Which month has the most birthdays for our class? Oh, we have a different graph than the one that's in my answer key because it's a different year. My answer key is from a year, so don't be copying this down. My answer key is from a different year. Our birth dates were different. So let's talk about our class. Which months had the most birthdays for our class, not for what it was 2 years ago, 5 6 class. Which month had the most birthdays? Melanie. Was it just January or is it a tie? Just January. Which month had the fewest birthdays?
November.
Was it just November or was there a tie? Just November?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
November.
August had a birthday. Were there no birthdays in November?
Yeah,
Okay. How many students did we survey plus the teacher?
22.
Add those Taylor Swift. Which of the 4 seasons has the most birthdays? So remember, it was winter was December, January, February. Spring was March, April, May. Summer is June, July, August. Fall is September, October, November. Which season had the most birthdays for us? Zelda?
It's kind of a tie between spring and winter.
Did everybody else get a tie between spring and winter? So it could be a tie. I just have different data from what I had listed. All right, let's look at our second page. We talked about those line graphs. How tall was Russell at age 3? He was 2 feet. I think we did this together. The top we did together. Then you had to create your own line graph. It should look similar to this. You should have your numbers going up with degrees, or we said something else, the temperature degrees. On the bottom, you should have your label for months with the months written out. And then remember, some of us were just squishing it all super close together and not putting our points above every month that's supposed to go above. So remember, we talked about that. So each month we should see 2 points above it. So we know what was the high and what was the low. Which month has the most predictable temperature? December. Why would it be December? Can anybody tell me? Why would December be the most predictable?
Wait, but I said January. Wait.
Tell me why.
Wait. I said January because it's usually cold.
So when we are doing math, should we ever make random guesses? Well, it's usually cold in January. Was it this year? No,
Not really.
it really wasn't.
Oh, it was asking that.
So you actually had to look at the data. Okay, so looking at our data, between the high and the low for December, the high and the low are the closest together. They're only 13 degrees apart between the high and the low. So that's why it's the most predictable, because there's not a big range of data. So it's going to be in that small amount of degrees for December. So then the least predictable is the one that has the biggest difference, which is May. They were 20 degrees apart. So there's a bigger span of what the degrees could be for me. Does that make sense how I answered that? So if you look up here, you can see I wrote what the difference was from the high and the low. So I could see what the biggest span was and what the smallest span was. Any questions on this one? Okay, if you're watching this at home, I hope you're well. Hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day.